I'm well. How are you?
Good. Welcome back, everyone.
Yes.
We are getting ourselves together.
Complete regroup.
Okay, right. Just rewind.
Learning things, testing things.
Absolutely.
Like we've been in school.
Yes.
The last month, trying to figure this out.
Trying to figure things out.
I think we're almost there.
Yeah. So thank you for bearing with us.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely that. So yeah, happy Monday. We're back.
Same to you. Mind Your Business Monday in full effect.
Full effects.
Yeah.
Live and in living color.
For sure.
We're back.
Yeah. So what we're recording today is, as if you didn't have a chance to look at our live on January 20th, Terri and I decided to go in a different direction, test this market out to see how it was. 2019 was great.
Yes, thank
The
you.
lives were awesome. We had some great interaction. Sometimes our schedules would not line up, so it caused us to miss some weeks. And then we got feedback from some of our audience members that said, hey, 6 o'clock is not good because I'm picking up the kids, I'm racing home, trying to get settled, or 7 o'clock is too late. I'm already at home and now I have to cook dinner. So there were just some competing factors that caused us to go in this direction, which is to do a podcast and a YouTube video.
But what's beautiful about that is that you can listen to it at your convenience now. The episodes will definitely be archived now. And yeah, I just think it works better for everybody. So we're excited about it. Thank you again for bearing with us and supporting us. For us to launch to this point. That's exciting. So yeah, we'll be working this out.
For sure. So thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And your feedback is always welcome.
Yes.
Let us know if you like this concept by liking if you're watching on YouTube. Or if you're if you're listening on your podcast, please subscribe to this podcast.
For sure. And share. Share it with your friends, family members, aspiring entrepreneurs, current entrepreneurs. So yeah, so with that, we just always start off by reminding everyone that this is just for informational purposes and more of a business to business chat, not meant to be taken as any sort of advisory capacity. So definitely seek your professional in your county, city, state. Don't take what we say, to be the law, because of course we're based in Jacksonville, Florida, in Duval County. So it could be different somewhere else. So please make sure that you certainly seek the advice of a professional if it's for taxes, accounting, legal information. Please do so. But yeah, we just created this to have a place to network with one another and create a forum for other entrepreneurs to network as well. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, please, at your business and information in the comment section as well, so that when people are searching this out, they can search you and find you as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So what do we have today?
What do we have today? So I heard of this amazing term, and it just blew my mind because I did not realize that this could be added into a contract between the seller and the buyer of a business.
Okay.
And it's called clawback. And what clawback means, so say the seller advertises a certain profit of their business. Their business is making a certain profit per year. However, they don't want to show financials to prove this gain. So the buyer says, okay, great, we'll take you at your word. However, we're going to set this clawback rule in the contract stating if this business is not performing at the revenue amount that you prescribed and you're not able to produce the proof of these profits, you're going to pay us back the lost profit at the end of each year.
Okay. Is there a term on that? Like you say, the end of each year, is it for the first 2 years, 5 years? Do you know?
I'm not sure about that.
That's interesting though.
Yeah, yes. And when I realized that, I'm thinking, okay, so that is a good way for a buyer to be protected if they decide to go into this business and take the chance to and go forward with the transaction and not have to worry about, okay, well, this seller is not being 100% honest.
And it's a very valid concern for a lot of
For
buyers.
sure, I bet.
It is.
Because this is not a simple transaction, and not one you can say, okay, well, I'm just gonna walk away tomorrow.
Right. Well, in certain respects.
Okay.
Correct. So I think that provision would be tremendous, especially if you're working by yourself and not along with a professional in the deal,
Okay.
because you don't have any real protections.
Sure.
But that's where the advantage of hiring, you're not really hiring, but I guess you're hiring, right? Or working with a professional, a business intermediary or a business broker, one who, for here in Florida, for instance, you've heard me talk about the Business Brokers of Florida, BBF, which is our state board. There are certain sanctions and things in place to protect the parties involved, like our agreements and the clauses within our agreements. Now, if it's a business intermediary or someone that, maybe has a real estate license, but they're not specialized in businesses and they're not a member of the BBF, they don't have access to those agreements and documents.
Sure.
So in cases like that, especially, that could be very useful. The difference is with the BBF members, for instance, like we have certain provisions that are standard in our language in our contracts, like due diligence. So every buyer is entitled to a due diligence period, and it reads verbatim. If he or she is not satisfied for any reason, they can walk away and get their deposit back, as long as they're within that window. By standard 2 weeks, but it could be whatever they negotiate. So in that case, that's your discovery period to say, no, I want tax returns, I want whatever you want to investigate. And then it is the seller's responsibility and obligation to turn those things over. On a rare occasion, though, we hear things like that where you don't have a very cooperative seller. So even within that point, they're really hurting themselves. So again, if you're not working with a professional, I think that's something to certainly explore and say, you want to make sure that you have a chance as the buyer to investigate whatever you've entered upon verbally or by advertisement to make sure you're satisfied. So I like that, a clawback.
Just
so
like it sounds.
That makes me think of another, how should you say, approach that I've seen buyers do in very specific cases. They'll do what's called an earn-out. So let's just say that they're investigating all of the prior year financials and they're okay with that. But Mr. or Mrs. Seller is saying, yeah, but we're gonna do double the business in 2020, but it's only February. So we can't really rely on that. But if they can show, well, I have the contracts to prove it, we've had all these new materials and all these whatever, and you think it's tracking that way, you can make the purchase under that premise, right, that it's going to do double these sales that Mr. Business Seller is saying it's going to do. But we'll do it by an earn-out, which means let's say we close in March, all right? And so you're projected to hit a certain marker next quarter. So by the end of next quarter, I, as the buyer, will release X amount of funds from escrow towards the final purchase price. The rest sits in escrow. All right? The end of third quarter, we come back. You met your mark, Mr. Seller. Here's the next portion of the proceeds. And they earn out the rest of the closing proceeds based on performance. But that's really good in situations where you're kind of basing something on a projection, which is tough to do. Buyer beware at that point, but it can be done that way too.
All right, perfect. This is a good conversation, and it's so good we forgot to introduce ourselves.
We definitely did. I guess that's helpful if you know who you're listening to or watching. All right, what's your name?
That deserves a rewind.
That's right. So yeah,
my name is Christina Jones, MBA, and I am the founder of Mastermind Assemblage, which is the YouTube channel you're listening to now. And what Mastermind is we assist entrepreneurs and small business owners increase their business, increase profits through collaboration and knowledge.
Great group of people, by the way. FYI, if you're in the Jacksonville area, check it out. Okay, I am Terri Sherman, business intermediary with Florida Business Exchange, based in the Jacksonville office. So I specialize in the sales of existing businesses throughout the state of Florida.
Perfect.
So yes, that was important.
Yes, for sure. You know, we have to make sure they know that we're the authority.
I think that's important, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
hey, it's us. We're here.
And this is how good our conversations
This
are.
always happens.
Yeah. We forget to introduce ourselves, so there you have it.
Yes.
Anyway, you want to definitely tap on your business intermediary at least once a year to determine how the market is doing in your particular genre, and find out if what's helping that business strive and sustain and increase profits at the same time. Quick meeting, probably the most inexpensive meeting you'll ever have that can increase your profits.
That's right.
So.
I love tea. Can't really drink coffee anymore, but I love tea. So, like to eat also. I'm happy to sit down with you and carve out some time.
Absolutely.
So yes, thank you for that plug. That's right. It's my manager now.
Yes.
She's taking care of my bookings for lunch.
Absolutely.
So yes.
All right, what else do we have?
That was it for today, really.